Hey everyone, it's Shaf, aka That Mill Guy, coming at you with episode 12 of Exploring Mill. Now, as the title of the video suggests, we're going right into Pioneer, updating a list that we looked at last episode, and the key promises that I was making was, let's get rid of maybe not all the Liliana Dreadhorde generals, but try and include the Scarab God, which is exactly what we did today. Its static ability helps us come back into the game, it provides a fantastic blocker, and then its activated ability provides more attackers and blockers along with it on curve with our plan, reanimating our opponent's creatures and taking advantage of some super spicy enter the battlefield effects that exist in Pioneer. Now, the next card that we brought in was removing Fraying Sanity and bringing in Sphinx's Tutelage. That's right, with the grindy nature of our deck, Sphinx's Tutelage works really well with us because with Fraying Sanity, we had to enable it. We had to play a higher critical density of actual mill spells. But with this card, we're allowed to just play the draw-go game and continue to interact with our opponent, hold up Drowned the Loch, and we're going to slowly grind them out with our draws. And let me tell you, Into the Story is insane with this card, so something to look forward to in the gameplay. But before we get to those, I want to remind everyone to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter for some updates, and follow me on Twitch on Sundays and Mondays, where I like to stream some standard, some modern, and hopefully in the future some Pioneer as well. But other than that, the deck list is going to be available in the description box down below, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side for the wrap up. Hey everyone, alright, we're into the games, and game number 1, Pioneer second draft. Okay, we're enjoying ourselves if my video game software would stop asking me to take screenshots, because I don't need to. Anyway, we're just going to minimize that. We would love to play first. We are a mid-range deck. Let's do it. There you go, one of the notable upgrades coming in immediately, but this hand doesn't do much. It doesn't even enable Drowned the Loch, so we got a mulligan. This hand is notably better, so we will keep this. Ditching one of the Into the Stories. Okay, and I think we're going to be better pressed just to start enabling that way. Okay, looking like some type of Rakdos deck here. Okay, yep, Temple of Malice. We're playing Temple of Deceit, so that's fine. Epiphany Revelette is fine. Okay, not ideal, but okay, so we gotta crack this, and then I think we want to play Sphinx's Tutelage from there. It could just get Thoughtseize out, yeah. In which case, okay. Seems like that. This seems like the modal play here. So we'll bring that in. They will take Sphinx's Tutelage for sure. Seems like we would really love a Thoughtseize against our opponents, but oh well. Games are definitely going to be a lot more grindy. A lot more grindy for sure. Sure. Multiple temples. A lot of fixing. Okay. Yeah. Pretty solid top deck there. Again, we are casting Breaking. Again, we're just trying to resolve this Into the Story, right? Like that's really what it comes down to. Resolving Into the Story is what's okay. So it looks like some type of Rakdos Pyromancer build, but we milled over 3 Pyromancers. Oh god. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Perfect. I'm going to shock this one out just so at the end of turn we can Into the Story. That's fantastic. Perfect. And we're going to start next turn with not only 4 new cards, but we're going to draw into 5 new cards. We're going to start the next turn with a fresh grip, ideally. Like, I don't think they can play anything here that's, like, too crazy. Okay, like, that's not the worst. Okay, so let's do this then in response. So let's do... Just so we have a better selection of cards, right? So let's see what we would love to discard here. Okay, so I'll discard Winds of Rebuke. Sure. We'll just kind of pass through from there. That's fine. They'll resolve Pyromancer and do what they want. Like, we didn't draw land, which is kind of unfortunate. I was really hoping to at least do that, but okay, Duress is likely gonna take Fatal Push here. Yeah. Okay, and at this point we're trying to we're just trying to get ourselves back into this game. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. Wow. Okay, yeah, that's actually really good. Okay, so we don't need to lose any more life. I'm gonna just Tome Scour them. That's actually, yeah, that's actually pretty solid because we can. It kind of sucks, like it ruins our reanimation targets in the Scarab God, but like I haven't even drawn a land, so like no biggie. That's pretty big. We'll see what they do. Kind of all their temples, but we're gonna be getting a lot of life here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, like 12 life is nothing to scoff at, especially like in this kind of mid-range battle that we're going up against. And oh man, without Into the Story. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm thinking of like, is it worth it to actually play legitimate mill spells? But it is, right? Because we have to enable Drown on the Loch, so it really is in the end. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Into the Story isn't bad. Likely a card we will cast on the end step here. Sure. See what they do. So let them swing in, sure. Don't care about this damage, you know. Again, don't have to worry about things like Lightning Bolt, right? Like there's no crazy damage sources. Okay, so I'm just gonna cast. I'm gonna cast Into the Story because like I really need to find lands here. Sucks that I gotta lose life for it, but yeah. So do it on the end step. Draw some lands. Perfect. Perfect. Let's see what they got here. So we can play the Fabled Passage. So let's Thoughtseize them first. Let's see what we're working against before we start making like hasty decisions. Perfect. So they're just drawing straight butt. Am I like okay with result? Like, what do they have? Am I okay? Okay, like I don't need to resolve Winds of Rebuke or Sorcerer's Canton. No, I don't need to do any of that actually. So I think we can just do this now. So let them enter combat first. It might have been better now that we know they're playing Kolaghan's Command. It might have been better just to get off the crypt first. We'll see if we get punished for this. I don't know. We could. I'll see. Oh, wow. That's all they needed. Oh, wow. We should have done this before. Okay. Should have done this before. Okay, so things to bring in. Thoughtseizes don't seem great here. When we're back on the play, I'll bring them in, but doesn't seem fantastic here. And I think we're going to take out couple of Drown in the Lochs, Unmoored Ego. Well, no, Drown is fine. They're not exactly a graveyard deck. I was thinking of Ashioks, but Liliana seems pretty bad. Fatal Pushes seem fine, and then stuff like Cobrew, Witch's Vengeance, Crypt. You know, just in terms of life gain and maybe one Spell Pierce. Thought Erasure seem fine. I'll likely shave some of these pieces. Like, yeah, Search for Iskanta is probably just bad here. Like, I'd rather have Spell Pierce over that. Yeah, so, yeah, like, coming back into the play, I'll probably take out, like, Winds of Rebuke and stuff like that to bring Thoughtseize back in, but we're up a game. We're on the play. Sorry, on the draw. I keep saying on the play. We're on the draw. So we're like Thoughtseize is just like its effectiveness is minimalized. This is pretty good. I actually like this. This hand curves relatively well. If they have one piece of hand disruption, they have to take either a Thought Erasure or a Sphinx. So, wow, what? Okay, yeah.
Aether Hub is okay, so they'll probably take like Thought Erasure or something like that. Unless they have another discard spell, they could just take the Sphinx and just hope to take that. Okay, so we will Thought Erasure them at some point then, by the looks of it. So I'm gonna just start enabling this. Sorry, I'm talking about the Into the Story. So the reason I'm doing this is because they will likely cast a spell at some point, putting a 6th card into their yard, or putting a 7th card in the yard, which automatically turns on our Into the Story. That kind of sucks. Okay. Draw 3 cards. Okay. Sure. So Thrill is Spectacle. Discard a card. Okay. Okay. So that's a draw. We don't really need to show our opponent. So let's Thought Erasure them. Let's see what's going on. Oh man, that's rough. Stuff and things going on. Hazaret the Fervent. Okay, well, I can counter that, so that's not bad. Okay, so I'm going to take that, and we're going to put that into our graveyard, because I don't really want that. Okay, so I can counter Hazaret the Fervent, even regardless of how scary that card is. Just tempoing out their threats. So Temple of Malice, fine. Sure. That's a clock. We're going to bring out a Fabled Passage and go from there. So this is a situation where we're countering Hazaret the Fervent for sure. Yes, this is, oh, I'm 110% countering this. Goodbye. I'm not letting you resolve that. That's a joke. That's a loss right there if that resolves. That's a loss, bro. That's a loss. I'm sorry, I'm bringing in probably another island because, like, okay, yeah. So I'm okay. I don't need to be tapped out if I don't need to. Like, I can at least pretend here that I remove a spell, but like, I'm not gonna get another black source with this. I need to stop losing life on my blue sources. Especially in a matchup like this. Oh my god, we're winning this mid-range map. I just want to push out that we are winning this mid-range matchup on the basis of Into the Story. Like, the mid-range matchups are all about advantage, card advantage, and just who has more cards. And we are winning immediately because of that. Like, unless they can stop this Into the Story, we have functionally won the game if we don't just draw 5 lands. You know what I mean? Sure. Sure. Don't care. I'll lose the Epiphany Revelette. That's cool. Perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't love any of that. I didn't draw any answer to that. That's not great. Okay. Okay, Temple of Deceit. Let's see what we got on top. Oh, like, I want to bottom that, but like, it's not an ends. Oh, okay, fine. Put on top. Fine. So I can Sphinx's Tutelage and just push this, and then get hit for 5. That's unfortunate though. Hazaret coming back is a problem. Yeah. Yup. Alright, give me something. Okay, fine. Give me something. Yeah. Oof, alright. Yeah, so this is the power of Sphinx's Tutelage right here. Save targets, always yield. Well, we have an answer at some point. Oh no, we just lose because they can just discard and kill us. Okay, we just lose actually, because I needed an answer there. I didn't find it. I actually needed an answer there. Okay, we drew all those cards and we didn't find it. Okay, so begin sideboarding, that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna shave the... Okay, so 1 Tutelage. Like... Yeah, like the Spell Pierces are fine. I don't need those anymore. I'm going to bring the Thoughtseizes back in and take out... Oh, man, now that we know they have Bontus. Tempted to bring the Liliana back in. Take out Witch's Vengeance. I don't know. I think it's better. Okay. No, bring a Bontu's in. Maybe take out like one Winds of Rebuke. Yeah, no, Thoughtseizes are going to be much better here, so we'll submit it there. I don't know if this boarding is correct. I'm going to put that out there. I don't know if this boarding is correct, but like we really love to reanimate. I don't know, actually. That's hard. We could shave the Winds of Rebuke in general and just bring the Spell Pierces back in and submit that. Yeah, I think I'll submit that. Just because Spell Piercing Kolaghan's Command seems so big. Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep this. It's a turn 1 Thoughtseize into a turn 2 Collective Brutality. Like that's pretty big in itself, right? Like I am able to follow up consistently, so that feels pretty big. They mulled a 6. Feels good already, right? Like mulliganing against a discard deck. It's not where you want to be, but it's where they're at. So let's Thoughtseize them. Let's do it. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna take. That's hard. Probably Bedlam Reveler. Just because I don't want to eventually deal with that. That's the problem. Next turn, I will be taking Collective Brutality. Yeah, I will be taking Collective Brutality next turn. Okay, so now I'm more inclined to shock into that just to have that untapped. Okay, so there you go. Perfect. So now we know they're just going to play that. Perfect. And then Rixmati Reveler, they're probably going to discard a land. Yep, they discard their swamp, draw a card. Ooh, wait. No, they just have a land in hand. Isn't that another art? Did I just mess that up? That's not a bad resolve. I'd mess with that. It's not a bad resolve. Sure, and then potentially next turn I can go Castle Vantress. Sorry, I can go, yeah, Castle Vantress, Collective Brutality, 2 modes, whatever. Sure. Oh my god. I just milled them 10 cards. I just milled 10 cards off the Sphinx's Tutelage. Oh my god. The nuts. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, that's the nuts. Oh my lordy lord. That is the nuts. That's the nuts if I've ever seen it. Okay, let's see if they... Okay, so it looks like no... Whatever. Sure, end step. Oh man, into the story plus Sphinx's Tutelage. Let's go. This is the synergy right here. This is the synergy right here. Let's go. Kolaghan's Command is cool, man. You can do whatever you want. Bedlam Reveler, yeah, that's fine. I'm discarding. Oh, what do they do? Oh, they just dealt 2 damage to us. That was the modes they picked. Okay, whatever. Save targets. Always yield. Wow. Wow. I just want to say how crazy this Tutelage has been so far. It's been wild. Yeah. That's big. Oh my god. And I have an active Crypt Incursion? That's insane. Okay, so here. Wow. I like legitimately want to hold up a double counterspell here. So I'm going to take Bedlam Reveler off the basis that it costs them more mana to cast Hazoret so that they're tapping out more mana. Okay, so that's the reason for me taking Bedlam. I can hold up double counterspell in case they draw anything crazy, and I'm only taking max 2 damage right now. I don't think they have many crazy burn spells. Sure. They played a land. Yes, exactly. So counter that. That's not resolving. Like, no siree, Bob. That's not resolving. Again, I don't care to use this Drowned Loch on this creature right now. Sure, I'm going to Tome Scour them. Temple of Deceit. Scarab God on top is fine. That's our finisher, and that's where we want to get to. Perfect. I'm back up at 21 life. I know the Scarab God is technically negative synergy here, just because like we've just exiled their graveyard. But again, Sphinx's Tutelage is going to keep... Sure, they're going to take Drown the Loch. Wow, they just take Mission Briefing. Okay, I don't know if that's correct, but alright. Alright. What are you gonna do? 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 What are you gonna do against the Scarab God? Game number 2. See you there. See you there. Hey everyone. Game number 2. That was fantastic. I loved it. I loved it. Midrange versus midrange. But we are the better midrange deck. I'm gonna keep this. I'm going to keep this off the basis that we have turn 1 Thoughtseize into a Drowned Catacomb. Like, that's why I'm keeping this. Okay. Yeah, so I was keeping this based off, like, the information that we're gaining. Fabled Thip, what? Okay, so it's like some type of bouncy whatever deck. Okay, so I'm going to take Charming Prince. Because Fabled Thip just replaces itself, whereas Charming Prince is actually, like, some long-term value. Draw a card. Okay, so 1 Fabled Thip. They have 2 cards that are unknown to us. That's fine. I'm going to play Drowned Catacombs. Going to mill them for a little bit. Yep. Panharmonicon. Oh my. This is some type of like blue-white ETB deck. I don't know what to call this. Probably just blue-white tempo. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Yeah, not a crazy valuable card in that matchup, but okay. So I think what I'm gonna Mission Briefing and Thoughtseize again. Seems pretty weak, but okay, put that on top and Thoughtseize them. Again, continue the card disadvantage here. So Thoughtseize them, just get the information out of the way. Wingmate Rock is something I don't want to deal with. Yeah, that's definitely not a card I want resolved. So we're just gonna do that. Perfect, and at least the Reflector Mage, I'm able to Fabled Passage and then Fatal Push, right? That's the idea there. They can play Fabled Thip, yep, which they will. Replaces itself. Yep. That's fine. Thraben Inspector is what they drew. It's one of the cards they drew. Okay, I'll just do this now. Grab another island. Push this. Okay, so now I'm relatively controlling the board, but not actually. Right? Like, they're going to start getting some ETBs off. They're going to start doing that. Like, I need a forward clock now. Again, these Winds of Rebuke are in the main board just to deal with, like, troublesome permanents. That's what it is in the end. So this will likely be Cloudblazer. Right? We've known about this card for a while. So they'll draw 2 cards, gain 2 life, which is kind of unfortunate. That's huge, right? Any form of card draw is how you beat us, right? And they're gaining that life advantage as well. That's pretty big. So I will likely just... I'll thin the deck first. Grab an island. In case we draw Thoughtseize, that's why I'm doing this now, right? Like, in case we draw something like that. Exactly, perfect. I know we're losing life off this exchange, but it's better that I get cards out of their hand like that. Yeah, like Spell Queller is a card I do not want to see. Perfect. Perfect, so things are working out here. I am able to now Drown in the Loch the Cloudblazer. Sure. Not looking great so far, but we'll make it work. Mystery card, draw. Yep. Sure. Okay, so I don't think they have a way to win next turn. I don't. It doesn't seem like the style of deck that would be able to do that, but we'll see what happens here. Would love a Crypt Incursion. Crypt Incursion is it would be pretty key here, because even if they Spell Queller, we're able to return the Spell Queller to their hand or whatever, right? This Declaration in Stone, it's valid. It just turns off really like our Scarab God win condition, because it kind of deals with it pretty well. So that's kind of frustrating. Okay, cool. Right. So I'm able to deal with like two things. This kills me. So I guess I gotta do this and just hold back. So I'll do this on their upkeep. So I'll like Winds of Rebuke here. And then Winds of Rebuke the Fibblethip, just because it costs more mana? No. Thraben Inspector, because it costs more mana to draw the card. Yeah, sorry. So definitely that. Staying alive. Ooh, staying alive. Liliana's are lost to me. Okay, and we've milled over a fair amount from them. Crypt Incursion really needs to be drawn right now, or I've lost this game if I don't draw Crypt Incursion here. It needs to be here, because I can't into the story. This isn't Visions of Beyond at 1 mana. God, how I wish Visions of Beyond was a legal card in this format. Oh man, they'll print it. I'm telling you, they'll print it. It'll be beautiful. Mill will come back. We'll come back to what we were in Modern. Okay, look, we're returning to Zendikar end of next year. Archive Trap reprint into Pioneer. Field of Ruins become a staple. Field of Ruins become a staple, let me tell you that. Sure. Alright. Look, it's gotta be Crypt Incursion here. Or I could just go for the Into the Story nuts. Let's do it. Into the Story nuts. Alright, we're doing it. Into the Story nuts. Right here. Go for it. Oof. Okay. If I can mill over at least... Ooh, not even. If I can mill over at least 17 cards, we win. I don't know how we're going to do that, but 17 cards. Oof. Damn. So close. Alright. This is GG. I tried. Couldn't find the Crypt Incursion. Okay, cool. So it's just a general, like, ETB deck. That's really what's going on here. So we're back on the play. Unmoored Ego doesn't seem great. Liliana, because this deck is so small, like, Liliana doesn't seem great either. Search seems a little too slow. So we're going to bring Crypt, Fatal Push, and our board wipes, essentially. Take out, like, one breaking... Take out, like, one Winds of Rebuke. Oh, Winds of Rebuke is fine. It deals with their Panharmonicon, actually. Maybe Witch's Vengeance is too weak, just because it's not exactly a tribal deck. Okay, and we're going to run it like that. Again, I like Tome Scour better, just because, like, Tome Scour over Breaking. Breaking... I should actually probably just play, like, some red sources to enable the other side of Breaking, because the other side of Breaking is actually a pretty big game, especially in a slower format where we can get it off. This hand does almost nothing. Especially now that we know what our opponent's doing, this hand does almost nothing. We're going to keep this. This is risky, but I'd lose an island over this. Just because, like, all the cards in this hand are pretty solid. And Thought Erasure is going to be pretty key here. Thought Erasure is going to be pretty big here. Especially just being on the play. And just being able to Thought Erasure, fix the top card of our library. I think we'll be able to find lands, place, tutelage, and then into the story, hopefully on curve. Okay, so the Temple of Deceit is going to be step 1, right? Just a simple scry. I'm going to put that at the bottom just because we're hoping to Thought Erasure next turn. Again, we're trying to find lands. This might have been a mistake, but we'll see. We'll see. Thought Erasure. We are playing 22 lands, so you should be able to find something. Absorb is kind of frustrating. Okay, so I'm going to start off by taking the Deputy. Put that on top. Perfect. So lands are great. So Deputy just because we want to resolve the Sphinx's tutelage. So planes. Okay. So they're going to be able to spell Queller us, which is frustrating, but put that at the bottom. Okay, Thought Erasure again. And so they drew another land. We're going to take a Spell Queller. Put on top. Playing, sure. It's also the idea that I don't really need to operate any type of thing whatsoever here. Yeah, like I don't need to enable anything if I don't have to. There's also that. If they want to play the Spell Queller, they can. Like, I don't need to do anything. I just need to wait for them to play a threat, really. Sure. Start getting cards out of their hand. This is, I'm hoping the Sphinx's tutelage that they Spell Queller this. I'm hoping they Spell Queller this. Because I would rather get this card back. Okay, perfect. I figured they'd be tempted to just to get an active threat onto the battlefield, and that allows me to Bontu's Last Reckoning next turn. Or, like, eventually. Yep. I could have potentially just taken Spell Queller. That might have been more correct. But, yeah, just because, like, worrying about Deputy just doesn't seem logical. But we'll see here. So, here, no. Cast, breaking. See if they counter this. It'd be interesting if they did. It honestly would be. It'd be really interesting if they actually bothered to counter this. Looks like they are. Sure. Okay, so that's that. In which case, I'm gonna Bontu's here just to get my Spell Queller. And I'm gonna really punish them for this. That's essentially what this is right now. Like if they really. Yeah, if they really wanted my card that bad, then you know they're paying for it now. There's no reason for them to counter that spell, and I was just that was essentially a skill check, and they failed the skill check. They failed the skill check. That's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, this is a pretty good turn to do that too, just because like I'm tapped out. Okay. I'm just gonna be able to mill them for just a little bit here. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean that's something we can open up with, so that's not bad. Next turn. Like kind of clear the way for the Into the Story. That's not bad. And hopefully they can start playing some threats. Look, they're pretty land heavy by the looks of it, so this is where we want to be. We actually do want to draw like cards like this now, especially against a deck like this. Saheeli Cat. Ooh. Okay, that's not bad. right? Because then they're drawing more cards. Like Thoughtseize is just a more active card against them now, right? Sure. Mill them some. Okay, so I'm gonna open up with a Thoughtseize before we do anything. That's just like really unfortunate. Okay, so I'm just gonna take out a Cloud Blazer, just so they don't have like multiple targets. And just do this now. This combo is gonna be pretty sweet. Oh, yeah. Okay. And again, you know, drown in the Loch. We can Crypt Incursion. There's a lot here. Okay, so the Glacial Fortress. Yep, and they'll likely play. If we can just hold off, we can definitely win the long game if we just hold off. Like I can. Oh, that's disgusting. That's actually disgusting. Oof, that's not great. Okay, Feldar Guardian's gonna hit the Cloud Blazer. I will likely. Oh, this is dumb. What's nice is like they're technically helping us. Like they're getting 2 ETBs. They're gonna gain a bunch of life, but they're drawing 4 cards, right? Like it's not like. Oh my god, this is gonna be a ridiculous amount of cards drawn. I just took this in. Like they get double ETBs. Do they go like? Do they just draw? I don't even know how this works right now. Does this go infinite? I don't know. Like they can choose just not to like just do some things, right? So they're gonna get a lot of draw here. I don't care. In the end, I like kind of don't care. Yeah. Okay. Drown that. Just so that if they wanted relevant bounce effects on the battlefield, they have to tap out their mana to do so. I'm going to pay for this. Like this. Sacrifice that. Just so I lose a permanent. Right? And then I can Fatal Push one of the Felidars. That's essentially the idea behind that. Now, I don't know. Would it have been more effective just a Crypt Incursion? Possibly. But I can threaten some pretty big stuff next turn. Like I have the mana to go Sphinx's Tutelage into Crypt Incursion. So if they choose to use up a counterspell, then I have that. Like let's just look at their numbers right now. Like I've taken out 2 Spell Quellers, 3 Spell Quellers. Like they definitely are playing the set, right? Like they're definitely playing the play set. And they could potentially just be holding up like 2 counterspells here, sorry. Okay, so they're just going to draw 2 cards here, sure. Again, the more cards they draw, like the easier this game becomes, right? So it looks like they're just holding up 1 counterspell, right? Okay, so I'm going to Thoughtseize them. Again, clearing the way for counterspells. That's what this is right now. I want to resolve this Crypt Incursion. Sure. You can do whatever you want without Panharmonicon. And I will do this now. I will just gain 50 billion life. And really just put this game out of reach for them. That's what this is. This is really just putting this game out of reach for them. Sure. That's fine. Like this there's a reason why Modern Mill has game. Okay? Just gotta port that into Pioneer. You know what I mean? Too much. These changes have been big, man, I'm telling you. Or maybe we're just drawing a little better. Like this is just disgusting. If I can draw an Into the Story, I've won the game. I want to put that out there. If I draw an Into the Story, I've won the game. Like I love Sphinx's Tutelage. Oh my god, it's just like inactive and like it has that random value of the activated ability. You know what I mean? Like this is so. I'm at 50. I literally cannot lose this game. Like I don't think I actually can. Like they just have a bunch of one X's, you know? Like, how are you winning this game? Sure, right? Like, they could have drawn their one spell color that they have left or whatever. Like, who knows? Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna resolve this Sphinx's Tutelage, and when I say resolve, I mean resolve because I gotta drown the Loch. I gotta drown in the Loch. I don't care. I'm gonna resolve this Tutelage. Okay. I'm cool with that. Cool with that. Again, you have to win this turn, or my Tutelage wins the game. Watch, I'm talking all this smack, and I'm about to lose to Nexus of Fate. About to lose to Nexus of Fate. Sure. I'm actually about to lose to Nexus of Fate. Oh my god, I just took that in. This is a blue deck. I'm actually about to lose to Nexus of Fate. Stop. Don't Nexus me. Please. Please don't Nexus me. Please don't do that. Please don't Nexus me. I'm not ready. Alright, okay, perfect. See you guys for game number 3. Oh, no. I'm talking some nonsense. I thought I won game 1. Jokes? Damn. If this game's actually that long, we might just cut it 2 games. Jesus. Here I am thinking I actually won game 1. No, I didn't. Okay, so we're on the play, in which case I actually just want more removal. But Thoughtseize isn't bad, though. Thought Erasure is like, I don't know. Scarab God seems like, this seems better. Like, one Sphinx's Tutelage is fine for like a Witch's Vengeance. Again, just like killing stuff seems good. They do have very relevant ETBs. Like, I don't want to take out all the Thoughtseizes just because, like, I don't know. Okay, I'll play it. I don't know. That was pretty good, but I don't want to lose all my Thoughtseizes. Oh, this hand's close. This hand was so close. I got a mulligan. Oh, I think I have to keep this hand. Done. I got scry off of it too. Okay. Come on, give me a land. Oh, no. Give me a land. Don't punish me for this. Oh my god, don't punish me for this. Come on. I kept a one-lander. I apologize. If this is how it ends, this is my fault. I've kept a one-lander. Oh my god, I actually done this for YouTube. Oh no, everyone on YouTube, please forgive me. Please forgive me for my sins. Oh no. Forgive me for my sins, please. Please, YouTube, please. Oh no. I've had 3 opportunities to find a land. Oh, God. Well, I don't want the Spell Queller, honestly. The Spell Queller is just the fact that it's a threat. Like, I just don't want to deal with that. Like the Absorb at least is just a counterspell, right? At least it's just 1/1s. Oh my god. Why did I do this? The deck is actually... You know what? The deck is actually doing so well. Beyond this, the deck is actually doing so well. I've just made terrible mistakes. Like, just remember that these are my mistakes. The deck is actually doing pretty well. Okay. Bottom. They know we're trying to find lands. That's what I love. They know we're trying to find lands. Sure. Okay, so they're gonna play Wingmate Rock next turn, which is frustrating. Like, I don't know how to deal with Wingmate Rock. Oh my god. Yup. I don't know how to deal with that, man. That's like so rough. This is gonna get countered, but I have to resolve it. Yeah, like, why not counter this, right? It's just one of those things. Why not counter this? Okay. Yep. So it looks like next turn they will attack, they will create Wingmate Rock, and we will cry. But it's okay. It's okay. These are the decisions that I live by. These are the decisions that I've made. I believe. Not really. Now, at this point, not really. At this point, not really. It's not great. Okay. So you might still have something. I'm taking how much? 8 damage? Okay, so our hope is to set up for a massive... Here I am, trying to set up for a massive Crypt Incursion when my Crypt Incursion is literally... I mean, it's not bad, actually. Crypt Incursion is going to give me, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 life. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not ideal. Each attacking creature, Jesus. Jeebus Rice. Unless I draw a board wipe here, like one of my Bontus. If I draw one of my Bontus, that's actually a pretty big game. Bontus is pretty big. Bontu's off the top. Okay. Like, we lost this game because of my... I should have just multiplied. I should have just multiplied. I saw the Thoughtseize and I got dazed. I saw the Thoughtseize and I got dazed. What is this? 3, 6, 9. Oh my god. All right. Well, I mean, I can still draw thoughts. I can still draw removal off the top, or like board wipe off the top. So there still is that. Like, this deck is very all in by the looks of it. So we'd still bring it back. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Bontu's off the top. Give it to me. Give me a Bontu's off the top. One time. One time for YouTube, give me a Bontu's off the top. One time for YouTube, give me a Bontu's off the top, please. For everyone, I apologize. I kept such a terrible hand. Fine, threaten your counterspell. Oh my god. Okay, that's game. Alright. Catch you guys for the wrap up.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for the wrap up. And yo, straight up, let that last game be tip number 1. Do not keep one land hands. You're not an affinity deck playing Mox Opals. You're not an artifact deck playing Moxes in Vintage. You're not shops. You're not any of that stuff. Don't keep one land hands. You're not gonna get there. So let that be tip number 1. Don't do what I did for the sake of fun, okay? What I want to talk about in this wrap up is just some few key tips and possibly a change or two. Not a lot of strategy. We didn't play a lot of games. I just want to accentuate some things and highlight some things that y'all may want to think about going into your Pioneer game. So let's go to tip number 2. So for tip number 2, I want to talk about overboarding. A key in mid-range deck building is that you want to bring in high impact sideboard cards. These sideboard cards tend to have a lot of flexibility in a lot of matchups, but for the poor, borders, whatever you may want to call them, a lot of people may want to bring in 10 to 12 cards from their sideboard into every single matchup. And you know what? That's cool and all. That shows that your cards have flexibility, but you just don't have that many slots in your 60. Okay, so one thing you want to consider, and one way I like to sideboard initially, is what cards in your 60 are not great in this matchup. If you're playing against a fellow discard player that's also playing Thoughtseize, consider taking out Thoughtseize from your 60 because you're on the draw, meaning your effectiveness for that card is decreased. So that's an easy way to board some cards out. Also, think about a card like Collective Brutality. It has removal tacked onto it, but do I want to bring it in against the aggressive creature matchups or maybe some mid-range creature matchups? Sometimes no, because it doesn't really kill the creatures. Remember that Collective Brutality is there for the red decks, and it's also there for the spell-heavy decks. Like Ashiok. Ashiok is there for the graveyard matchups, but if you have a deck that maybe searches its library a lot, unless it's a key part of the deck winning, such as it searches out a key winning component in its deck, puts it on the battlefield, if it's not doing that, don't bring in Ashiok to stop your opponent searching. bring in cards for their main primary function. You just don't have enough slots to take out your main board plan and remove stuff like that. Tip number 3. Remember that we are playing some amount of actual mill spells to turn on Drown in the Loch. It's one of our very key pieces, so if you're able to, and you suspect that your opponent is not playing any discard, then sometimes it may be okay to not Thoughtseize on turn 1. I know that might seem crazy, but if you have a Tome Scour into the Drown in the Loch, it might actually just be better to Tome Scour and then hold up Drown in the Loch. It gives you so much more flexibility. You're able to counter spells and you're able to kill creatures. Remember that as a Thoughtseize deck, you're able to Thoughtseize later as well. And again, especially if your opponent's not playing discard, it's going to be perfectly fine. You'll be able to get off that look and get some information from there, but hold up the high priority interaction, especially, like I've been saying, Drown in the Loch. So mill early and mill often when you can. Okay, enable the cards in your graveyard, because remember, your finisher is Liliana and the Scarab God. You need cards in their graveyard to actually win the game, and you also need cards in their graveyard for Crypt Incursion. So a lot of things going on. We're a mill deck, don't forget that. Now, with all that in mind, I'd like to thank you all for joining me for this episode of Exploring Mill. I want to remind everyone that if you have any thoughts on what I was doing, any deck changes that you want to see me make, anything I'm forgetting, please leave it down in the comments down below. And of course, show me your list. We've had Pioneer for a while now. What have you been brewing? What mill cards have you been brewing around? Does my deck look like it can compete? What are your experiences in the Pioneer leagues? Let me know again in the comments down below. And of course, remember that even the impossible is possible. And as we're pondering that thought, please join me next time as we take a glimpse into the unthinkable.